Nara Hari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare.
TV.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome all to ISKCON Philadelphia for the Sunday Feast program. Is anyone here visiting our temple for the first time? Thank you very much. What's your name, Prabhu? Vivek. Where are you from?
Omkar from Pune.
Anyone else? Okay, let's welcome them. Thank you very much for coming. So our schedule is we are going to have a discourse, a class. As this is the month of Kartik, so we are doing a special series on the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So the class will go till 5:30. The clock is actually, we have to put it back, it's 4:30 right now. So class will go till 5:30. And 5:30 we are going to break for dinner prasadam, and after that, like, we are going to have a second round of aarti at 6:30, along with the mantra meditation session. So before we go for class, I would like everyone to turn off your cell phone or put in vibrate mode during the class, and if you can turn on, because Prabhu is giving class this side. So today's class will be given by His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu. So let's welcome him.
You know how to play Kirtan? Anybody? Some people are far away. Yes, yes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavallabha Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Acharya Ashtotara Sadashi Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Shami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Gi Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Ganga Devi, Jamuna Devi, Tulsi Devi, Bhakti Devi ki jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Hari Hari. Namo Krishna Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Putare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shrivari Paschani. Somebody's got their phone.
No, it's harmonium.
What's that?
It's harmonium.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 asked today to speak about the appearance of Radha Kunda, which we'll talk about that a little later. But I chose this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It's about, because Radha Kunda is a very holy place, so this is about Tirtha in this verse is Tirtha. You know what Tirtha means? Holy place. Yeah. So this is about Tirthas. Okay. So we'll chant it responsibly maybe once or twice, and then we'll read something, and then we'll discuss. Okay. Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Tirtha bhuta svayam vibho.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirtha bhuta svayam vibho.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirti kurvanti tirthani.
Tirthi kurvanti tirthani.
Tirti kurvanti tirthani.
Tirthi kurvanti tirthani.
Svantastena gadabhrita. Svantastena gadabhrita.
Swantastena gadabhrita.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirti kurvanti tirthani.
Tirthi kurvanti tirthani.
Svantastena gadabhrita.
Swantastena gadabhrita. Bhavad vidha bhagavatas. Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani.
Svantastena gadabhrita.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirti kurvanti tirthani.
Tirti kurvanti tirthani.
Svantastena gadabhrita.
Svantastena gadabhrita. Very good.
Bhagavad vidha bhagavatas.
Bhavad vidha bhagavatas.
Tirthas bhutas swayam vibho.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho.
Tirthi kurvanti tirthani.
Tirti kurvanti tirthani.
Svantas asthena gadar vidha.
Svantastena gadabhrita. Ladies.
Bhagavatas.
Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho. Tirti kurvanti tirthani. Svantastena gadabhrita. Bhavad vidha bhagavatas. Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho. Tirti kurvanti tirthani. Svantastena gadabhrita. Anyone else? Bhavad vidha bhagavatas. Tirtha bhuta swayam vibho. Tirti kurvanti tirthani. Svantastena gadabhrita. Bhavat. Your good self. Oh, your good self. Sorry. Unless we lost it. Vidha, like Bhagavata, devotees. Tirtha, the holy places of pilgrimage. Bhuta, converted into. Svayam, personally. Vibho, all powerful one. Tirti kurvanti. Make into a holy place of pilgrimage. Tirtani. The holy places. Svantastena. Having been situated in the heart. Gadabrita. The personality of Godhead. Translation, my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage. Purport by Sri Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead is omnipresent by his diverse potencies everywhere, just as the power of electricity is distributed everywhere within space. Similarly, the Lord's omnipresence is perceived and manifested by his unalloyed devotees like Vidura, just as electricity is manifested in an electric light bulb. A pure devotee like Vidura always feels the presence of the Lord everywhere. He sees everything in the potency of the Lord and the Lord in everything. The holy places all over the earth are meant for purifying the polluted consciousness of the human being by an atmosphere surcharged with the presence of the Lord's unalloyed devotees. If anyone visits a holy place, he must search out the pure devotees residing in such holy places, take lessons from them, and try to apply such instructions in practical life, and thus gradually prepare oneself for the ultimate salvation, going back to Godhead. To go to some holy place of pilgrimage does not mean only to take a bath in the Ganges or Jamuna, or to visit the temples situated in those places. One should also find representatives of Vidura who have no desire in life save and except to serve the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead is always with such pure devotees because of their unalloyed service, which is without any tinge of fruit of action or utopian speculation. They are in the actual service of the Lord, specifically by the process of hearing and chanting. The pure devotees hear from the authorities and chant, sing, and write of the glories of the Lord. Mahamuni Vyasdev heard from Narada, and then he chanted in writing. Shukadev Goswami studied from his father, and he described it to Parikshit. That is the way of Srimad Bhagavatam. So by their actions, the pure devotees of the Lord can render any place into a place of pilgrimage, and the holy places are worth the name only on their account. Such pure devotees are able to rectify the polluted atmosphere of any place, and what to speak of a holy place rendered unholy by the questionable actions of interested persons who try to adopt a professional life at the cost of the reputation of a holy place. Om Ajnana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namasheshtam Manumapi Sachiputram Atra Svarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavati Radhakundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasha Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi. That's a prayer to our spiritual master, which means by his mercy we have gotten the opportunity to chant the holy name, Namashrestam, even though we're in the human form of life, in this human form of life. Sachipur, the service of Lord Chaitanya, and Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, his older brother, Sanatan Goswami, and to get the opportunity to serve Mathura, Govardhan Hill, and Radhakunda. By the mercy, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. So during this particular month of Kartik, it's also called the month of Damodar, the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is this verse I picked specifically because I don't know if you know where this was taken from. You remember? Yeah. So what happened was, some of you are familiar. There was a big battle during the Battle of Kurukshetra. Which right before the battle, an interesting discussion took place. I don't know if you know that. What was that? Bhagavad Gita. Very good. Who said that? Good. Bhagavad Gita. So, and in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained all kinds of transcendental knowledge to Arjuna. And Arjuna's oldest brother was named Yudhishthira. And he was, on his behalf, the fighting was taking place. But before the fight, Arjuna and Yudhishthira's uncle, his father's actually half-brother, was kicked out of the palace by the antagonist, Duryodhana. And so he went on pilgrimage. He took it as, even though he was kicked out, he was with a stick. He took it as Krishna's mercy. Now he should renounce all his political activities, and he went to different places of pilgrimage, and he heard from Maitreya Muni and other great sages. And he was away for many years. And he was especially very dear, a dear uncle, a close uncle to Arjuna, Yudhishthira, and the Pandavas. So after many years being away, all of a sudden he returned. And this is the verse that Yudhishthira Maharaj said upon, you've come, now you're just like a holy place of pilgrimage. So I was supposed to talk about holy places of pilgrimage today. So that's why it's applicable. We'll get into more about that today, specifically Radhakunda. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures, there's all kinds of many important divine and marvelous events that took place during this month that we can study and contemplate for our progress in spiritual life and for our enlightenment. Just as you may celebrate birthdays. Do you celebrate birthdays? Yeah, you do, okay. And anniversaries, on which days you remember specific events in your ordinary life. Similarly, there are many dates during the calendar year which are associated with the Supreme Person and his activities. So there are 9 kinds of devotional service or bhakti yoga. And taking advantage of these days to remember the transcendental exploits of the Supreme Person is a kind of devotional service called smaranam, or remembering. Bhakti yoga begins with Shravanam, hearing and chanting. Shravanam Kirtanam. Regular hearing and chanting of the name, form, quality, places of, activities, and splendid adventures of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates. And once there's a sufficient quality and frequency of transmundane hearing and chanting, one will be able to always remember God. And this is called samadhi. And thus, we can become free from all anxieties of material life. And this is the process that's recommended by Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, and Srila Prabhupada. So, in addition to these unearthly episodes to consider and remember, there are also a number of hallowed spaces, or holy places, that are extolled in these same scriptures, where these uplifting ambrosial events of the Supreme Lord and his devotees occurred. and that have tremendous purifying potency. You follow? Okay, just checking. God is absolute, and also so are his holy places, his holy dhams they're called, where he has been present and revealed himself to us earthlings. In every religion, there are such holy places. For example, in Judaism, you know what some holy places there? They have the Wailing Wall, or the Western Wall, which is supposedly the remnant of the temple made by Solomon where God came. In Christianity, they have the River Jordan, and where Jesus was said to have been baptized by St. John. In Islam, there's Mecca, where? Mecca, Medina, the Kaaba, these things. So in all these places, God and his great devotees have performed memorable deeds, and it's recommended that we, worldly people, journey to and stay for some time in these locations for self-purification. In the Vedas, there's also numerous holy places identified there where worldly people are encouraged to visit in order to cleanse ourselves from lust, envy, greed, etc. So, for example, they say Ayodhya, the appearance place of Lord Ramchandra, Prayag, which is called, Prayag? Or they call it now Allahabad, where there's the confluence of the Ganges, Jamuna, and Saraswati underneath. And Mathura, And according to Vedic theology, there is a gradation of these holy places. Do you follow? There's a gradation. Although they're all spiritual, but just like all the names of God are fully spiritual. Lord Chaitanya said, that Nam Nama Kari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. All of his names, all the names of God have the complete potency of God because God is absolute. He's omnipotent. So his name has But even so, it says, Rama Rameti Rameti Rama Rame Manorame Sahasra Nama Vitulyam Rama Nama Varanani. You know this? Very nice verse. It says, if you take the chant 1,000 names of Vishnu, it's as good as chanting. You can chant 3 names of Rama and get the same benefit. So even all the holy names of Krishna, of God are potent as good as God. But still, there's some difference. So 3 names of Ram equals 1,000 names of Vishnu. And then another verse is, you just chant 1 name of Krishna equals 3 names of Ram. So if you want to chant Vishnu Sahasranam, the most efficient way to do that is Hare Krishna. That's right. So there's a gradation. So in a similar way, there is gradations in holy places, and I'll read this from a book called the Upadesh Amrita, written by Rupa Goswami. The holy place known as Mathura, you know Mathura?
Yeah.
Is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the spiritual world, the transcendental world, because
Lord Krishna appeared
there. Superior to Mathura is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan, because of Krishna's Leela pastimes there. And superior, and so we're going gradations, right? Gradations. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan, any guesses? Govardhan Hill. Very good. Govardhan Hill. Why? Because it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, I told you gradations, right? Above all, is Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kunda, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? You may know that if you've been there to Braj Dham area, the Govardhan Hill is the shape of a, peacock. It's the shape of a peacock. And the head of the peacock, there's two eyes of the peacock. It's Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. So we're saying that there's all these different holy places, and this is the most, Radha Kunda is the most exalted. It's most exalted. So how the appearance of Radha Kunda was during this month. That's one of the reasons they asked us to talk about it today. But actually, there are two appearances. Two. The original appearance of Radha Kund was not in this month. The original during Krishna's Leela. This appearance during Kartik month was when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago, rediscovered it. Because at the time of Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago, people in general had practically forgotten all about Vrindavan. And the current city that is there, the current little village is there, it was built up and developed by the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, specifically the 6 Goswamis. Rupa, Sanatana, etc. This Raghunath Das. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan after he toured South India. And he went through the forest. He left Puri. He was staying in Puri, and he left Puri right after the Ratha Yatra ceremony, which is usually in end of June, early July, right? So he went through the forest. There's a forest, a jungle of Jharkhand. Stopped at Benares, Allahabad, and then went first he went to Mathura, to the place where Lord Krishna appeared, and he bathed in Vishnugada, which is right there. He went to different forests. And then he went to a place called Arit Gram, or Aristagram. Arista is a name for a bull. Arista. Because there was a bull demon was killed there by Lord Krishna. So he went there and he asked all the villagers, since this is where this village is where Aristasur was killed, where's Radha Kunda? Nobody could tell him. So then he was chanting under a tree, and that place is still there. And there was 2 small little tiny ponds there. And he said, being the omniscient supreme personality of God, he recognized, this is Radha Kund, Shyam Kund, right there. And so he bathed there, and then he told his followers, Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, to excavate those places. So that was the appearance of Radha Kund that happened this month in Kartik, with Chaitanya's discovery of that. So is it true, my question is it true that just by going and residing in a holy place, can you become purified? Just by going there and residing in a holy place? What do you think?
Will not purify, but it will, still it will give much impact. Yeah.
So what was your answer?
Will not purify, it will not fully purify, but it will give impact still.
Yes, good answer. Because in order to do it properly, you have to approach the holy place, just like you have to approach the holy name, or you have to approach the spiritual master in the appropriate attitude and with the appropriate purpose. Yeah. So it'll happen forever. It'll be beneficial no matter what. Just in the 60s and 70s when I was growing up, they used to call those places chakras. You ever heard of that? They have special potency, right? To certain places. So there's the energy, the potency is there. But how can we get the full potency? In the Nectar Devotion, Srila Prabhupada writes that there's 5 kinds of devotional service that are so powerful and so potent that they can arouse devotional ecstasy even in a neophyte devotees like us. You know that? You know? Does anybody know any of those 5 kinds of devotional service that have that potency?
Gomata Seva?
Good guess, but no. Chanting the Mahamantra. Chanting the Mahamantra. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Serving the pure devotee. These are things that, they're worshipping the deity. Worshipping the deity. And the last one, any guesses? What's that? I didn't hear you. We started with the chanting Mahamantra, yeah. But residing in a holy place, like Mathura, Vrindavan, yeah, those places. Yeah, residing in a holy place. Those are so powerful. So the potency of the place itself can purify you. Just like, I don't know, you may have read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Akrura, who was an uncle of Krishna, was sent to Vrindavan to bring Krishna back to Mathura in order to get murdered by Kamsa's wrestlers. Anyway, so on his way he was going by, how do you call that? Tanga? You say Tanga? Chariot, yeah. Horse and chariot. So, and he got to the outside of Vrindavan, and there in the dust, you know what he saw?
Yeah.
What did he see? Krishna's footprints. And he was overcome, and he got down and he rolled in the ground. Talk about down and dirty. But that was special dirt. That was special dust, because he was from the dust of Vrindavan. Similarly, devotees take the dust of Vrindavan as Gopi Chandan and mark their bodies with it, because it's a purifying activity in your chant. Purifying. And that's recommended as our practice. Still, in order to get the full benefit of the experience, we have to approach the holy place, including and especially Radha Kunda, and the devotee in the right attitude, in reverence, and in an attitude of service. Just said here, what intelligent person will not be willing to serve? It didn't say to enjoy, but to serve Radha Kunda. So to get the full benefit of these holy places, we have to approach not in the enjoying spirit. You follow? Not in the enjoying spirit. Just like the holy name, there's a method to chant the holy name so you get the benefit. There's, the verses, Bahu Janma Kariyaji Shravana Kirtanam Tadbhutanapaya Krishna Pade Premadhan. You can go on chanting the holy names of God for many births, but if you're infested with offenses, then you're not going to get the full benefit. First offense is to unnecessarily criticize devotees who've dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name. There's so many offenses like that. So in a similar way, Srila Prabhupada told us that in 1935, his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, went to Radha Kunda, this special topmost holy place, and delivered a series of lectures there. Any guesses what the lectures were about? Any guesses? You'd be good. The lectures were about the difference between the body and the soul. Upanishads. Yeah, we're thinking, he'll get some intimate pastimes. But he gave lectures on the difference between the soul and the body, because there's a process of spiritual realization. And most of us, we're not even off, we're still on the material platform. We're still on the material, we think we're this body, and we think enjoying material life is the purpose of life. And unless we get off the bodily platform, there's no possibility of appreciating and understanding the pastimes of Radha Krishna as being transcendental. So he was giving a series of lectures from the Upanishads. And there were a bunch of people who lived in Radha Kunda, in Babajis. They were attending. And they first attended. And then, they came for once or two times, then they didn't come anymore. And so then he was told, oh, Srila Bhaktivedanta said, they say you're a Jnani. You're not a Bhakta, you're a Jnani, because he's talking about, this is a true story. And Prabhupada said, Srila Prabhupada said, my Guru has personally told me, he says, these people are not living in Radha Kund, they're living in Naraka Kund. Naraka Kund means in the hellish places. Why? Because they're not approaching with the proper understanding. So this verse, there's a verse in Upadeshamrita after this one that we read that says everyone should aspire to take bath in Radha Kunda. Yes. And then Srila Prabhupada said, yes, but don't go to this 10th and 11th verse unless you've done the first verse of the Upadeshamrita. The first verse of the Upadeshamrita is Vacho Vegam, Manasa Karoda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udurupasta Vegam. The first thing is you have to control your Vacho Vegam, the urge to speak. We always want to talk about something. We talk a lot. And usually it's about some way we can get back at somebody or say some nasty thing about somebody behind their back. Usually, isn't it? Always. But to control, that speech does not help us in spiritual life. No. Vacho Vegam, controlling the urge to speak and speaking only that which is beneficial and related to Krishna consciousness activities, how you can advance in spiritual life. That's controlling this Vacho Vegam. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, mind, anger. Jiva Vegam, the tongue, eating. Udurupasta Vegam, the belly and the genital. Somebody who's controlled these things, they can make spiritual progress and they can actually become guru. So, somebody who claims that they're very advanced, but hasn't done the first thing in spiritual life, these Vacho Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, we can't really give them much credit for their advancement. So there's a tendency for us to think, and we're observed in our kind of mundane way, to think that we're more advanced in knowledge and spiritual progress than we actually are. With that influence, we tend to take things easily and cheaply. One symptom of this is that we like to talk about Krishna's pastimes, that's called Lila, but don't want to hear or actually practice spiritual philosophy, tattva. That we don't like to hear that we're not the body and the material enjoyment, getting a degree from a prestigious university, becoming wealthy, having a good bank balance, having a shiny car, that these are not the goal of life. We don't like to hear about that stuff. Isn't it? Isn't it? I know, that's true for me, I know that. That's tough stuff. This human life is meant for spiritual realization, and we should be given a good amount of our energy and thoughts and activities to that end. But in reality, most of us, including me, we're diverting most of our attention and time and energy and thoughts to other things that have nothing to do with spiritual life. This is a fact. So the real devotee, the real purpose of life is to come. Sadhu means somebody whose words are a little bit cutting. A little bit cutting. Because they cut the material attachments away from the hearts of us worldly people. So we don't like to hear that spiritual life involves austerity and some sacrifice for spiritual advancement. And that's our tendency. So in reality, Srila Prabhupada rarely spoke about Radha Krishna Leela publicly. Hardly ever. People living in a holy place, but sometimes they may engage in nefarious activities while there. So is there living there still beneficial, you may ask? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Srila Prabhupada said that sometimes there are people in living in Vrindavan or other holy places, and they indulge in intoxication and illicit sex and all, or eating meat and stuff like that, even in the holy place. Do they get benefit? Yes. You know what benefit they get? Any guesses? They take birth as an animal. Take birth as an animal in the Vrindavan, so they, in that way they're not involved, and they get purified. In their next life, they go back to God. You follow? So this is still the power of the holy places there. Now, to avoid this mentality of trying to enjoy, being the enjoyer of the holy place, in fact, we're the servants of God, not the enjoyer. So in the Shastras recommend, when you go to a holy place, you know what they recommend? Fasting for 3 days. Did you know that? When you go. Fasting for... Guys, they shave their head. You know this? You didn't know that? Yeah. I mean, the purpose of fasting though is to help us not think that we're the enjoyer here, but we should whether you fast or not, but you should use your time to engage in service, hearing and chanting about Krishna. That's the point. Saving time for those things. No. So to avoid this mentality of enjoying, you should be determined to serve the Lord, and so much the better if you do that. Not just fasting, but increasing your hearing and chanting. Not just going to a holy place to take bath, but to hear the discourses of holy saints. Lord Krishna said, Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke. You know this verse? Very nice verse. A person who considers the body to be their self, the physical body, Boma ijati, they think their place of birth is worshipable, their family is their kith and kin. Saeva gokara. They're as good as the cow or ass. This is Krishna said, not me. Krishna says that. Right? But they go to a holy place only to take bath, but not to hear the discussions of spiritual life from holy people. They're like that: cow, camel, ass. So this attitude has to be checked when we go to a holy place, and when we also when we associate with devotees. Usually, it's very common in India and other places that when a person goes to see a holy person, they want to get, what do you call it? What's that? Ashirvad.
Blessings.
Blessing. Give me a blessing. Ashirvad. So Prabhupada calls there's many Ashirvad Babas or Ashirvad Maharajas. Ashirvad. And he told a story about his great Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who was sitting and chanting, and the Maharaj of Tripura came to him. He said he wanted to invite him to his palace, and he was insisting. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, "What, you wanted me to become your servant? Yeah, why are you pushing me so much? You want me to be your servant?" He said, "Oh, no, Maharaj, no. I am your servant. Whatever you say, I will do." So, similarly, Srila Prabhupada was on the train going from Calcutta to South India, and he had his servant Harisari and other people were there. And there was these three gentlemen. The three gentlemen were hanging around outside the train car, and they knew that they were trying to see Srila Prabhupada. This was in 1976. And they were suspecting that these people were there just so they could get some, what do you think? Ashirvad, right? Ashirvad. So they were trying to stop him from coming in to see Srila Prabhupada. They didn't want to waste Prabhupada's time. So when Harikesh and I went out of the compartment, the curious men were still there. On a return, despite our obvious reluctance to let them in, they strained just to see past us, knowing that if we could caught Prabhupada's eye, etiquette would oblige him to let them in. Prabhupada was awake and eye contact was made, and he instructed us to let them in. The three filed in and sat opposite him, smiling and pleased to having evaded the secretaries of someone they knew was a great spiritual leader. Thus we all sat, we three irritated by the polite infringement of Prabhupada's precious time, the other three ignoring us, eager to have Prabhupada's darshan. And Srila Prabhupada is always a warm and cordial host, not at all inconvenienced. Prabhupada received them courteously, asked them a few polite questions, what their names were, where they came from, and what they liked and and then he looked directly into their face and asked, "So what can I do for you? Swamiji, we just want your blessings." Right? Then Prabhupada responded, "What is that blessing?" This answer took them by surprise. No one had ever asked them what kind of blessings. Caught off guard, one of them replied, well, Swamiji, I have this pain in my knee." We almost groaned out loud at the man, and becoming embarrassed, hastily added, and something for our families also. Strike two. And of course, we want to do good to others. As he trailed off in confused silence, Prabhupada indicated his three disciples with shaved heads, sikas, kurtas, dhotis, tulsibits. He told them, "Here, this is my blessing. These boys have given up everything for Krishna service and chant Hare Krishna. Are you prepared to accept this as my blessing?" At first they were dumbfounded. All kinds of wild thoughts seemed to run through their heads and across their faces. Then, before they would become the beneficiaries of this blessing, they hurriedly stood and said, "Well, actually, Swamiji, we have so many duties and we have to leave right now. And for us to do this is not possible." With a profuse apologies and many thanks, they beat a hasty retreat. And we laughed as Prabhupada sat smiling and shaking his head. So we want to avoid being that kind of person who goes to the holy place or to the holy person, right? So, and this temple here is also a holy place. Srila Prabhupada in 7 purposes of ISKCON mentioned that he wanted to erect places of pilgrimage throughout the world. So this temple is a holy place. Devotional service is going on here very regularly. So you will get benefit for coming. You get benefit for coming. But we disqualify ourselves from receiving the full benefit if we attend but slip into having an attitude of trying to enjoy the facilities instead of having a reverential approach and an attitude of service. What service can I do? When it comes time to hear the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, we prefer to leave or clamor to hear about other things. When it comes time to clean the pots and the floor, we make ourselves scarce. If you're thinking this is an advertisement for helping to clean, you're right. The verse is there. Shri Vigrahara Dhana Nityanana Shringara Tan Mandira Manjanado. It's in the prayers of the spiritual master. It said, the spiritual master is always engaging his disciples in worshiping the deity of Krishna. And how Mandira Manjanado, which begins with cleaning. With Mandira Manjanado. So anyway, there's a monthly cleaning. So today, you and I will have the opportunity to go in the kitchen and clean after this, if you want. Anyway, so that will help us. That attitude of service will help us make spiritual progress. Attitude of respect and service. Another thing, when Srila Prabhupada was in Bombay, now that time was called Bombay. There was an arrangement for him to meet the president of India at that time, or the prime minister was named Morarji Desai.
Yeah.
Remember Morarji Desai?
Yeah.
Anyway. So they were supposed to meet him at 8 o'clock in the morning. And there was a politician who would help them arrange it to go. So in the morning, the devotees had to go pick up this person first before they could go to see Maharaji Desai. So they went to the man early to pick him up, but he was late, and he was doodling, wasting time. So finally they got there, and they got him to come, and so they got to Moraji Desai's place 15 minutes late. So what do you think Moraji Desai did? What do you think he did? You're Gujarati, you know. He said, okay, come in, and then after 2 minutes he sent him out. So it was disappointing. And when they got back to see Srila Prabhupada didn't go because he was feeling ill that day, but the devotees went. They went back to Srila Prabhupada, they told him the story. Prabhupada said, "Look, you should have told him it wasn't your fault." And he said, whenever you see a very important person, you must be on time. You follow? Yeah. So here we have, the program starts at 4. I mean, a very important person. It's always good, but anyway. So these are some things. We chant Hare Krishna because we want to be offered service. Hare Krishna means, oh Lord, engage me in your service. And if we're offered service, then we say, no, I don't want that. That's a little ambiguous, right? So let's work together for spiritual advancement by learning to approach this holy place in reverence and service attitude, so that we can all make advancement. And the result of that is each one of us will become happy and spiritually developed, which is our purpose in life. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Comments? No? Okay. Haribol. Are you giving an announcement? Are you just walking up here? Oh, okay. That's very nice.
Hare Krishna. So, Dhanacharya Prabhu, as some of you know, he's in Vrindavan this week. And last week, he was in Vrindavan last week as well, so he asked me to fill in. So today's Sunday Feast sponsor the sponsors are Radhika's parents who wish to remain anonymous. So if we can all just chant a nice Mahamantra and give our blessings to dear Radhika for birthday. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, there's the plate. Can you grab the plate? Thank you. There you are. Hare Krishna. Okay, the cooks for today's Sunday feast was Gokulananda Prabhu and his team, and there's a couple more members I wanted to name. There's Mother Jai Shri Radhika, there's Meena Mataji, Anjali Mataji, Ravinder Prabhu, Suresh Prabhu, and Vijay Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, just a couple events. Some of them all of you must be knowing about, but so there's a 24-hour Kirtan happening next weekend, November 9th to 10th. So it starts at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday and it ends on 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, and then which will be followed by the Sunday feast. So we do ask that you come if you're free, and it's definitely a wonderful opportunity. I've gotten to attend in the past. There will be some really amazing Kirtaniyas. Amala Kirtan Prabhu, if you all are aware, is flying in for the event as well. So please do come. If you can help in any way, or if you have any questions, there's Mother Sita sitting right in the back, so she can answer your questions if you have anything. This Thursday, November 7th, is ISKCON, so just a reminder for that. Just the recurring events are Wednesday night. There's Kirtan every Wednesday, so that's going to continue starting at 6:30. And then Thursday at 6:30 p.m. There's Prabhupada Lilamrita night. So again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Sita Mataji as well. Now we have a couple announcements from Shobha Radhe Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Just a very quick one. I've been telling you that we are having a book fair. It is going on outside right now. Lots of good choices of books for children. Please keep in mind all the gifts that you will be giving for birthdays, for whatever occasions. So it's a very good opportunity. Sunday School is sponsoring the book fair. There is going to be a discount. Please check outside and check. All the Sunday School children are all downstairs making their wish list. We do our part in marketing. So please encourage your kids to check the book stand. Please look at it yourself. Wonderful books. Prabhupada wanted us to read books, and I think we should encourage children also to read books and get started early on this Krishna consciousness. So please check the book stand out and buy some books. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Today will be japa. So if you're done your prasad early, I do really recommend coming and chanting a round of japa before the next arti. So that's at 6:30. And 6:45 is going to be Damodarashtakam for the month of Kartik. And wanted to thank Arjuna Bhakti Mataji for making the beautiful diyas. And if you haven't seen them yet, you'll see them, but she made them all by herself. So to that we offer to Lord Damodar in the second arti. So let's see, I think that's it. So now we'll break for Prashadam. Prashadam is served in the Prashadam hall. If you walk out these doors and make a left, walk straight back, that's where it is if you don't know. And again, 6:30 p.m. here is, please come back for japa. Thank you. Hare Krishna.